watching the Horrors Ball with the Headbanger. I'm Nick Principe, Chrome Scope from Laid to Rest. Watch it.
Welcome back to the Ball, everyone. I am your host, the Headbanger. This is not your average Horrors Ball episode, though. This is a new thing I'll be doing. This is a film review edition for the awesome website beneaththeunderground.com. They also have a Facebook page. Talked about them before in the past. Really cool. Check out both pages. And I'll be trying to do a review basically as much as I can. It would be on Thursdays. Ideally, I would like to do it every Thursday, but that's unlikely. So basically, when I can do it on Thursdays, I'll be doing new film reviews, focusing more so on independent underground horror, which is something I focus on quite a bit anyway. But so glad to be a part of this. Thank you, Nick, once again for allowing me to be a part of the great company. Other reviewers that you should check out on there. People that a lot of you may already know. Mr. Parker, Dave, of course. You all know and should love him. The always sultry fangirl Sarah, the gore whore. Mr. Ramon. Tanner Tubach. I mean, you got a lot of cool people, some other people as well. So please check it out and support those other reviewers. And again, I'm just happy to be part of that. Such a cool company. I'll be, let's get right to it though. I'll be doing a review for our twisted friend from the north, Ryan Nicholson, his brand new film, Collar. His films for me have always been kind of hit or miss. I mean, my favorite being Gutter Balls, just outrageous fun. Probably second favorite. I really like Star Vehicle. I don't like using the title Bleeding Lady, but yeah, I think there's, though, with his films, if I'm sure a lot of you are already fans of him, but if you're not, I think there's three things you need to do or realize going into a Ryan Nicholson film. Number one, let's go through them. Number one, relax, have a drink, have a beer. Had a rough day at work, boss is on your ass all day. Your dog took a shit in your favorite pair of Air Jordans. Just put it all aside, relax, sit down, grab a drink, hop in the movie. Number two, this is a key. Ditch the girlfriend, ditch the wife, whoever you're with, the significant other, the lady friend. Ditch her. Unless you, I mean, I'm lucky. Mrs. Headbanger, she's down with, she loves the gore. She don't mind some boobies. But I mean, most of you out there probably aren't as fortunate as me. You might have a lady that's a little uptight, you know, not down with the boobs, the gore, not down with maybe seeing a bowling pin being shoved into a girl's stuff and things. So chances are you should ditch the girl. Maybe you might also want to close the drapes for those nosy neighbors too. So, because you're going to see some boobs and some gore and some sleaze. So that's number two. And number three, don't expect to do a double take thinking that you just saw the second coming of Orson Welles. Meaning, you know, the acting's not going to be that great. It'll be uneven, here and there, not bad, but yeah, overall, you're not going to find the best acting. Take all those things into consideration, prepare yourself, and you should be fine. You're going to have an enjoyable experience watching the films of Ryan Nicholson. That being said, I was really excited when I heard about his new film. I mean, he's a guy I always support, whether I like each film or not. I'm always looking to support his work and get excited when I hear that he has a new film out. And again, on the gore, you're always going to see some really awesome, top-notch, practical gore effects. So when I heard about Collar, I was excited, saw the trailer. What really got me excited in particular was seeing the lead actor, Nick Principe, who I'm really a big fan of. Those of you who don't realize who that is, Laid to Rest, he was Chrome Skull himself. Laid to Rest 2. Absolutely, you guys know I absolutely love those films. I talk about those films all the time. Classic modern slashers, in my opinion. He was this guy in Madison County. Cool slasher, love that mask. He actually had speaking lines in this film, this hilarious film, FP, kind of an 80s inspired raunchy comedy from a couple of years ago. So yeah, real excited when I saw that he was the lead, and if you look at him, he just always, whether he has a mask on or not, he's very intimidating and badass. And he plays a central character in this film. And it's about a rookie cop, a female cop who kind of getting the ropes of her profession and gets into the seedy underworld of the back alleys and back streets, of course, like any cop would, and encounters this guy who, I forget what they call him in the film, something representing his big figure, of course, but I can't remember escapes me what they call him. But anyway, he's a crazy bum, basically. Not as charismatic, of course, as like a hobo with a shotgun. But yeah, really cool character, and she comes into contact with him, and he's basically going around killing people, killing fellow bums, drug addicts. He's got a big chain. He's got a kind of cool little, you want to call it a shed. And all while this is going on, you have a couple of younger punks that think it's a good idea to film this stuff, maybe put it on the internet, trying to become famous in that way. Kind of like the old bum fights craze that happened a while back with those actual like real bum fight footages. So they're kind of out there in the back street scene trying to provoke bum fights and whatnot. And of course they encounter this guy, from afar through window, kind of eavesdropping on him, and they see how crazy he is. He's actually killing people, and that's exciting them. And those two guys actually kind of remind me of from the great Canadian comedy Trailer Park Boys. They kind of remind me of the Corey and Trevor characters, if you're familiar with that show. They were kind of just like goofy and funny, and of course, being a Canadian film, they sounded Canadian. Yeah, that's basically your premise. The cop dealing with him and dealing with him fucking up people on the street, basically. And of course, it's got that, with it being set on the street, it's got that griminess. It works great on this VHS release. So seeing it, especially my VHS player, is like really bad. So the grain, the dark, the dark light, and the scenery of it, it was really good. The location, seeing the street, seeing some of the views of, I don't know exactly where this was shot, but the views of like city, like a bridge. I actually wish there was a little more like just filler shots of kind of like the city, much like the film that I really liked from a couple years ago, The Turnpike Killer. Really getting the feel of the city itself. But so it's got that cool feel. Like with most Ryan Nicholson films, I really typically love the scores in his films. They have a very synth-based kind of 80s feel score. Same situation with this film. And of course, I shouldn't say of course, in case not all of you have seen his films, but always top-notch score. There's one scene in particular that I really liked, is when Nick Principe's character, we'll just call him the Big Bum, I guess. He takes a chick and basically just kind of picks her up and kind of like he's gonna body slam her like an old wrestling move, and he just kind of like back breaks her on his leg, on his knee, and she just basically snaps in half from the front, and the stomach starts to come out. It looks fantastic. There's a little picture of it right there if you can see it. There's another shot where it's actually on the side here, when a derelict gets strangled by him with chains, and his eyes actually like completely almost pop out. A little more on the cheesier side, but I thought it looked awesome. And it kind of reminded me of a scene in an old Asian sleazy film, Guts of a Virgin, where there was like a similar shot, the guy's eyeballs like come out. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. The thing about this film is like the first half, it kind of has more of like, with the alleys and the streets and everything, and with this intimidating figure, and it had kind of like a really cool, just grindhouse atmosphere to it. And there was a part I'm kind of wondering to myself, is this gonna like stay serious throughout the whole film? And it turned a little bit, I guess, in typical Ryan Nicholson fashion, a little more on the cheese fun side, which is fine. That's what you're expecting when you watch his films, or what you should be expecting. I just thought it was cool. I was almost kind of ready for a while. It's just gonna be kind of like straightforward approach, a little more serious, sticking with the grime and kind of the dark vibe, which actually, honestly, I would like to see Ryan at some point do a film which is a little more just heavy on atmosphere, an atmospheric, maybe creepy film. I think I would just be curious to see how he would approach that and pull that off. I think it would be really cool. And I don't know, I kind of think that would have been cool with this film, but it ends up being typical Ryan Nicholson fun. I absolutely enjoyed it. Actually, when it ended, it seemed, I shouldn't say the ending is abrupt, but I was actually ready for more and hoping for more, which is a very good, of course, compliment to a film, wanting to see more at the end. There's a kind of hooker and her, I guess, wannabe boyfriend. He's kind of interested in, he wants her to settle down. They play a big role at the end of the film, and they're actually very funny, and it's kind of cool how they finish off the film. But yeah, it's just enjoyable from start to finish. I really enjoyed it. I watched it by myself. I'll definitely be rewatching this with some friends, Mrs. Hebinger. Actually looking forward to seeing this screen at Slaughter in Syracuse, which is happening this weekend. You should go. Yeah, so if you're already into Ryan Nicholson films, you have to have it. Most definitely will enjoy it. I don't know. Of course, a DVD release is planned, but I'm not sure exactly when that release date is. I think it's tentative right now. I don't think there is an official release. This is the Great Vulture release. I have several of their releases. Great company, and their releases are just always top notch. If you haven't got this yet, you're gonna have to get this on the secondary market, unfortunately. But if you are a big Nicholson fan, I think this is a must-have. Poster, awesome poster. Probably I haven't censored any of these movies, so sorry. I love this card. He's got a card with Prince being an actual piece of his clothing. They did that on the Time to Kill VHS that I have. I think more fabric should be involved with releases. I think it's really very cool. So top-notch release. Definitely pick that up, and if not, look for the D release that is hopefully coming very soon. As expected, I really enjoyed Nick Principe's performance. Not a lot of lines. Actually, I'm trying to think. I think he just makes a few noises here and there. But I actually wish this was a guy who would get more speaking roles. He did in the great comedy FP, which was cool seeing that. I'm used to seeing him with the mask. But and that's a tribute to him, is that it's not easy to convey a true presence on screen with either a mask on or no dialogue. So that's a credit to him. I think he's a very good actor and definitely has commands with his body type and his demeanor and his look, commands that presence on screen. And with not having a mask on in this film, I thought he was really great in this role, and it was really fun seeing him in that way. Hope he continues to get roles in the genre we love. So yeah, if you can find this, definitely seek it out. As I said, if you're already a Ryan Nicholson fan, you will not be disappointed. Not his sleaziest or goriest film, but you'll definitely be satisfied if you're just getting into Ryan Nicholson, just hearing about him. I think this would actually be a cool film to start with. It'd be a nice, slowly prepare you gradually into the Gutterballs experience. So yeah, Collar, good time, recommended. Hopefully you can see this film sooner or later if you were unable to get this release or unable to see it in Slaughter in Syracuse. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Again, I'll try to do as much as I can on Thursdays for Beneath the Underground. Please check out the site, beneaththeunderground.com. I'll put a link as well as their Facebook page. Really, again, a great group just dedicated to getting more exposure to independent underground horror. And you're right there with some of your favorite underground filmmakers. They're right there with you, supporting that as well, and just interacting with you, which is awesome. So Horror's Ball, Beneath the Underground, I'm the Headbanger. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm out here. Stay scared, everybody.